So good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much. I am a subject of theirs, and so you can see this blood flow restriction stuff really works. Actually, I'm Maureen Chiodini. I'm an instructor in exercise science. I'm also a doctoral candidate in the College of Public Health, and I'm working on diabetes prevention. And really what we have found is to even stop the incidence of diabetes or lower the incidence rate of diabetes, you got to take that first step. Back in 2015, in a conference room far, far away, actually St. Anthony's Hospital in South St. Petersburg, the president of the hospital, Bill Albright, challenged the Bay Care Health System and the YMCAs of the Bay Area, which I happened to work for all of these people at that time. He said, let's reduce this incidence of diabetes. So let's bring out our faith community nurses, and that's our group on the left, and let's start working with this program that we call the Diabetes Prevention Program. So he brought us together at this meeting, and there were probably 6 or 7 of us at this meeting back in 2015, and it was a very small group, but it was a group that decided that we were going to change what happened. And what we wanted to do was actually, we wanted to use the Diabetes Prevention Program, which the YMCA already had access to. They were doing it all over the Bay Area, but no one knew anything about it. And this Diabetes Prevention Program is an evidence-based program. It's CDC recognized. The Ys were recognized in doing this. Most of the larger health insurance companies actually covered it. And at the time, Medicare was about to launch a program to cover it. So the Diabetes Prevention Program started back in 1996. It was a randomized clinical trial with 3,200 participants across 27 clinical sites. There were actually 45% racial and ethnic minorities involved. Phenomenally great program, extremely robust experiment throughout this country. And it was really what we found was there were 4 groups. One group changed their lifestyle. They started eating better and they started exercising. One group took a drug called metformin, one group took another drug, and then there was a placebo group. The group that changed their lifestyle reduced their incidence by 58%. The drug group were down 31%. They had to stop the program a year early because it was so good for the lifestyle change. So let's stop first. Let's take a time out for a second and let me tell you a little bit about diabetes and the reason this becomes so important. A third of our population in this country right now is already pre-diabetic. 90% of those people don't even know they're pre-diabetic. Diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in our country. Number 1 cause of kidney disease, number 1 cause of adult blindness, number 1 cause of non-traumatic limb amputations. Right now, just in Hillsborough County, there's 48 dialysis clinics just in our county alone. So it's a huge, it's an epidemic in our country, but it's pandemic now around the world. Well, the cool thing we know about diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is 95% of it is preventable through lifestyle change. They proved that through the Diabetes Prevention Program. And we know that diabetes is a very slow and debilitating death. It takes one small piece of your body at a time, and it actually breaks you down very, very slowly. The key, though, is it's preventable through the Diabetes Prevention Program that is occurring in our community. So, and again, there's only 2 simple goals in the Diabetes Prevention Program. 2 simple goals. Lose 7% of your body weight and move for 150 minutes per week. The results then are, if you do these things, you have a 58% reduction in the incidence, and you have a lesser chance of it. So Bill told us, go out and make this happen in the community. So we took the resources at Bay Care, we took them into a church in South St. Petersburg, and we said, let's get this done. Let's get this done. So we decided to take the faith community nurse from that church, because our faith community nurses at St. Anthony's Hospital are integrated throughout the community. And we said, help us get this into your church. So she went out and talked to her folks at the church, and they said, bring the screenings to us, feed us every time you come here, bring us childcare, bring the classes to the church, give us transportation, and pay us every time you come and teach a class, and we'll be glad to do it. So we did all of that. We took this program directly to this church, and we did all of that. We took the screenings out, and after the screenings, 10 people qualified, 8 people showed up for classes, 3 actually went through all 16 classes, nobody lost any weight. So we said, something's wrong. So we asked the congregants, they said, the program's too long, we can't engage that long, it's too hard, we have to change the way we eat, we don't want to do it, we're going to get it anyway. So we looked at it as an epic failure, and then we said, wait a minute, we've had some successes. From that first meeting in 2015, since then, we have a 40-agency collaboration working throughout 4 counties around the Bay Area. We've got one-click EMR at daycare now. If you qualify for the diabetes program, an immediate prescription goes out. We're telling the story, and we've engaged in Aunt Bertha, which is an app that we use for resources. So this is where my research started. I said, obviously this whole thing of giving them everything's not working, so I'm going to take a different path. I'm going to get the community engaged that I work with, and I'm going to go out and do a social marketing campaign. And I'm going to do some formative research, because we know around the country that the Ys are doing this, and they're doing it fairly successfully. We're doing it successfully here. So I'm going to go to the people that are already in class, and I'm going to say, what brought you here? How did you get started? What's important to you? Then I'm going to ask those who qualify but choose not to enroll and say, what's it going to take to get you enrolled? And then I'm going to build personas of the answers I learned from those people, so we can build processes to help people talk to people. So we're going to teach our community health workers, those first-line providers, how to motivate the participants through the trans-theoretical model's behavior change. We're going to actually have conversations with people to walk through them from pre-contemplation, you don't have any idea you're pre-diabetic, through action, which is to enroll in the program. And that's the critical step, is that enrollment. Because once we know if people will enroll, if they'll get started, and we've gotten better since 2015, but once they get in, if you will actually make it through 4 classes, your chances of succeeding are extremely good. We've gotten better at this, so we know it's a little bit better now. But we've got to get the people, we've got to get the word out, and we've got to get people enrolled. So here's the question: do you qualify? How do you feel about this personally? First of all, are you over 18? Is your BMI over 25? If you don't know your BMI, we can figure that out for you. Then there's a simple 7-question quiz, is all you have to do. If you look at this height and weight chart over here, which you can probably see, if you fall outside of those categories, more than likely you are already, if you're over the age of 40, pre-diabetic. So don't let diabetes get you. Don't let it eat you up, one body part at a time. Take that first step. Thank you very much.